Thanks for staying with us through our little power outage there. Um, welcome to another edition of HQ Behind the Scenes Live. Today we've got Ron Pugh, and he is the founder and the CEO and the man behind the brand called Lit Culture. How you doing, Ron?
Great. How about yourself, Darren? Great.
I am good. Tell us about Lit Culture. What's that all about?
Well, Lit Culture is kind of a long story in that it's about basically the disruptors, I call it. And so I was kind of always a bad kid back in school a long time ago. And I found a home in this industry, in the smoke shop, head shop, counterculture, alternative industry, all these different terms we call it. So I've been able to create, so to speak, I call the products kind of my children. They represent an extension of myself. And wanted a place for the disruptors, the free thinkers, the creatives, in reimagining the product sets within a particular space, but also from a social and health conscious standpoint as well. So that's what we kind of want the brand to represent, and kind of that urban feel. I always use the example of an urban meets Red Bull concept for the brand. So that's kind of the vision going forward for the brand. It's kind of that urban / Red Bull model.
So you guys originally came out with Hemp Wraps.
That was the original first product.
So did the brand come first? Which came first, the brand or the product?
I would say it was the concept of the brand kind of came first, between coming up with the theory behind it, and then the Hemp Wraps, because that was a popular product at the time. It still is, actually.
Yeah.
And one of the brands that a lot of people know out there I was partnered with originally, and that deal kind of fell apart. And my partner and I said that we'll make another product, just make something better. Instead of a 1-ply wrap, as an example, it's a 2-ply. Instead of it being a smaller, we'll make it extra large. And we thought we'd have a better name, more vibrant colors, the box, and be the first one also made in the USA, because all the wraps that people buy, whether people know it or not, they all are from overseas, whether it be the Philippines, Dominican Republic, Europe. They're all from overseas except for our product, actually.
Where is yours made?
San Diego. We actually have 2 facilities. One is at the border in San Diego, and the other is actually out of Mexico. We just floated over to Mexico based on the new trade agreements, actually, that made it more conducive. And that's one of the reasons why there's nothing here stateside, because the labor cost is so high in the U.S. So the only way really we could compete with other brands and coming from foreign countries would be automation, and that takes millions of dollars to create those machines because they're custom.
Right. So talk to us about Hemp Wraps. As you said, still a popular product. Why is it a popular product?
Well, because I think I'm a Gen Xer, right? And tobacco's king, and the baby boomers, tobacco's king for those of us that smoke. And that's what's always been available. So in the last few years, hemp has become this popular new, we call it the green rush, because people are more socially conscious. And if I look at the millennials and beyond, they're a lot more into healthier alternative type products. And they're kind of driving what's popular, what's not, is really that generation. So we're kind of catering to that generation as it relates to the social and health consciousness compared to their parents. Or my parents, because tobacco is kind of passe and the such. So that's really what's driving it, is the younger generations.
So with your hemp wraps, I'm seeing them there on the counter behind you. Different colors. Does that mean different flavors?
Correct. So one of the things that I wanted to do, because obviously being a new product compared to what everybody's been buying for years of other brands, and knowing that we would be buried on the shelf in a sea of wraps. So how do you get people to pay attention with their eyeballs to say, at least have that curiosity of, well, what's that? So that's kind of where the colors came in, to make sure once it's sitting on that shelf, they stand out to that consumer with something they may have come in to buy that they already know, and at least have curiosity with the colors catching their eyes.
And are they different flavored wraps as well?
Correct. So we have 5 flavors. We originally started out with 3 flavors, which was Sweet Georgia Peach, was kind of a shout out to Atlanta, where I live, and the such. Then there's Paradise Express, which is pineapple and honey, and then there was Original. And then over time, as we got the product set out there, we obviously got requests for other flavors based on the success of other flavors for other brand, even if it's tobacco. So we added Russian Cream and Miami Mango as an addition to that, based on the popularity of those flavors with other product sets that are out there. So we kind of listen to our customers of what they are looking for, and others that are in the works as well. And it costs quite a bit of money to actually do these flavors. So at a minimum per flavor is like $100,000 to create each one, based on boxes, paper.
Sure, marketing.
Yeah, it's a lot more to it than people would think.
Yeah, so you guys are kind of staying in the hemp category, aren't you, with your evolution?
For now, yes. Just because it's an easier barrier to entry. There's a lot of changes happening in the country as it relates to tobacco laws. So I don't know if you're aware, over the weekend, the governor of California, as an example, just banned all flavored tobacco wraps.
I just saw that on the news this morning.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things like that going around in different local municipalities as well, people aren't aware of. So that's where this product set obviously comes right in, because it's non-tobacco. There's no tobacco in it whatsoever. There's no tobacco tax, which I have to explain a lot of times to owners, because they're used to paying the tobacco tax, and that was a big education 2.5 or so years ago.
Well, who's the I know we're talking to dispensaries and smoke shops. Who sells the most of these?
That would be a good question. And I would say today it would be gas stations, only because there's so many more gas stations, right? Around the country. But it started off, and I'm a smoke shop, head shop guy. That's my core base. That's how I got in this industry. They've really, paved the way for me. So I'm really, really super loyal to smoke shop, head shops, that marketplace. And that's where I just, want more traction in that space. But based on the different trade shows, because I traveled a lot of the distributors are selling them to gas stations. And then myself, I sell a lot to smoke shops as a company, definitely as well. Just because a lot of smoke shops may not use distributors in the sense of like a Pormark or HT Hackney, just to name a couple of bigger guys. Those gas station chains will, and things of that sort. But dispensaries would be another one, especially in the San Francisco Bay Area, because I'm originally from Oakland, California. So I know quite a few guys in that industry that have really taken the product in. Yeah.
So we just mentioned evolution of lit culture and hemp. What's the new product that you have out?
Well, the new one we're working on, as I spoke about the hemp cigars, the CBD hemp cigars, but another product that I have coming underneath the brand that we're working on is a new kratom product with an urban twist. So it's going to be a liquid tincture, actually, strongest on the market, but underneath this brand. We didn't actually want to do that at first. Just because kratom is a controversial product line. That's where I started in this industry 11 years ago, when there were maybe 4 brands of kratom. And so I'm really, really known for that. But I think it's time to kind of, again, push the envelope, I call it, and create some new customers, to be honest with you, as well as some old existing customers, but putting it under the brand. So that's going to be, I think, a big controversial, potentially envelope pushing product set underneath this brand.
Yeah, kratom is always in the news. What are there any misconceptions that smoke shops have about kratom?
They did when I first started. I can tell you, because when I started in this industry, spice was a big thing, and I really came in this industry to help actually present kratom to the smoke shops. And once products out of spice went away, this was the last, the next big thing. And a lot of times they didn't believe me. They thought it was bath salts and all kinds of things like that. I remember, if you only knew the story that I went through, even here in Georgia, where I was working with a well-known brand and creating that brand, that everyone would know the name if I said it, but I was the guy who built it, actually, literally, for 4 years. And then I left and kind of struck out on my own. But it's a controversial product with the government at times, but that's died down because the educational piece with the American Creative Association has done an excellent job at educating the legislatures in different states and local municipalities about what it isn't. So that stigma is definitely not there like it used to be, just over the time I've been around. So it's really, 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 really died down. And I'm really thankful for all the support to smoke shops, because all of this, if it wasn't for the smoke shops and them taking the risk and chances that they did, I can tell you some stories about smoke shops that lost money and different licenses in the beginning of the kratom industry. That now it's a gotta have product for gas station smoke shops. Not so much dispensaries, but that's another highly regulated industry locally within states. But
have you guys gotten into the CBD market?
We have. So we just brought on CBD maybe 6 months ago, just because we had some big customers of ours that we currently have that they wanted a high quality product line under the Lit Culture brand, because they sell quite a few of our product sets, even in the kratom space. And so we had a customer of ours approach us who has, I don't know, 50 locations, and they asked us to do a brand of CBD and said, we'll do our first order at 200 grand. And I was like, yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah.
I was like, no problem, we'll do it. And so that's how it kind of came about. We'd had people ask us before. We've had people ask us to put it on lighters, to put it on this, put it on that. But it's really a cost. It really takes a lot of money to do these brands and buy the supply and all those types of things. So, but in that case, we did it, and actually it's going well. And so we're offering specials on it now to all of our smoke shops, 20% off under the brand, just to try it.
And what type of a CBD product is that?
When you say what type of it?
Well, I mean, is it a pre-roll? Is it?
Well, there's good question. There's a sublingual, there's a pet drops, there's the salve, like, for different your skin, topical, a sublingual, and there's a drink mix, basically where it has no flavor or anything. You just add it to your water. Because there's in the industry, there's a water with CBD, but what people found out, it's really costly shipping water across the country. So why not just have, something that you can just add to your water, right? And be done with it.
Nice.
So we have it in 250 milligrams or 750 milligrams or 1,000 milligrams.
Very nice. Tell me, let's go back and talk about this, the cigar that you guys are going to be coming out with. What, first of the year?
What we're looking at Q4 is the target. So we're in the process. That's a smoke shop calling now. I forgot I have it tied to my computer here.
Got to do the business.
Right. But that being said, so, a guy we met, he's really, really good at what he does, and as a partner with hand-rolled Cuban cigars, because I'm a big cigar guy myself, and a lot of people I know I attend a lot of tobacco shows as well. So that's a huge, huge industry, as we all know. So again, being that disruptor, hey, why not come out with something that is different? 50 state legal. Again, that people can, it's more of a novelty actually, and it's really a high quality product. So let's say a Robusto version of this handmade probably retails for about $50, just as an example. And they actually use these hemp wraps to roll them with. Okay.
But they're hand rolled.
They are hand rolled. There is no machine whatsoever in doing any of this. They're all hand rolled.
And are they all going to be the same size?
There's going to be different sizes. So you have a cigarillo size, and then you have the Robustos and Toros, and people that smoke cigars know the different types. And then you have the pre-rolls. So they'll stand up in a counter display, POP, within individually.
And those are legal everywhere? And
100%. And that's the thing, because I'm in the commercial market. Versus if I was in California and that was my only base, it'd be something else in there. But in this case, it's all the 50 state legal minimum requirements from the federal mandates.
Yeah.
And they come with the lab reports and all that stuff. So I know I've explained that a million times, which is normal in anything like these types of products.
It should be normal.
It should be, but there's still education to be done out there. Let's just put it that way.
Right.
There are different states that may, we have to keep abreast to what states like Texas is trying to ban CBD at this time and changing it. GBH is a new big thing. So we're very well aware of that as well for different shops. And that's one of the other reasons a lot of shop owners in particular like to do business with me, because I will keep them abreast, and I've always been that way, of any changes that are coming down within their locale. Because I don't want to get in any trouble, and two, I don't want my partners, because the store owners are my partners, in any trouble as well. So even if that means I don't make revenue from them, I'm fine with that. So it's about the long-term relationship for me.
So last week or so, we've seen some stuff in the news about CBD and hemp. We're being active in that, politically about all this. Where do you see it going? What's the challenge?
I see it being a staple product. It's not going anywhere. What's happening is, all of this is about money at the end of the day, and the guys that are in control of different product sets. It's kind of like, this country was founded their biggest cash crop before cotton was hemp.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, fast forward 100 plus years later, we're being reintroduced to a crop that literally this country started off on as part of an export around the world. So we're having to educate and re-educate people about what it is not. So in Europe, it never went away. Asia, it never went away. So they're very well versed in it. It's going to take a little bit of a fighting, if you will, to make sure that the product is accepted. And there's even in the big tobacco companies, I have a family member that works for RJ Reynolds as an example, and there's some big changes coming to the U.S. I could just tell you that hemp's not going anywhere at the end of the day, but there are people vested in other product sets as well that are competing, that of course they're going to make it tough as possible, but at the end of the day, hemp's not going away. It may be taxed. Now that's the ultimate goal, is for taxing it just like tobacco, which when we got into this, we knew that would eventually be, that's what's going to happen eventually.
Yeah, anything that gets government regulated is going to be taxed.
Exactly. So that's really what it's all about. So Utah is being one of those first states where we have to register each one of these SKUs and pay an annual fee for it to be sold in that state. That's actually the model that most states are looking at going to. So Utah is actually one of the first states that's actually implementing it. So we've registered our product in that state as an example based on their requirements. So that's actually the model that most states are looking at what they're doing.
So you were just mentioning lab reports and you being an educator for shops. Two of the reasons this is a reputable brand for them to carry, correct?
Exactly. Well, and that's funny you mentioned that, because you're making me think about when we started, my partner and I, doing lab reports, in particular for Kratom. We were actually laughed at 5-6 years ago when we were doing that, because what it is, it's an extra cost. But because of some of the things in the beginning, and to ease people's, that there wasn't anything synthetic in it and all these different types of things, we decided to be a trailblazer at that time for Kratom, and that was an extra cost, about $1,000 per test, per batch. So it can get quite expensive, which goes, takes away your profit margin. So then obviously fast forward, CBD and hemp comes down the line. So it's the same thing. So it's something that we're already accustomed to and used to in our case, just because we come from that space. So it was a natural transition for us, one, for ourselves and our families to be comfortable with the product set and based on legal requirements on the federal level or state level, and two, our partners, right? Like store owners, they're our partners.
Right. Well, there's like we were just saying a few minutes ago, has been some negative press out there. So do what you can to, not get around that, but just to dispel it.
Right. And I think that's a big part about what the people that create this legislation, they're lobbied by other groups. And that's where, at least the Kratom industry, we've done a great job with going in and physically educating those specific legislatures in those different states. And they're like, well, why are we hearing this? And this is really what it is. That's because there's agendas by other groups to demonize the product, and that's happening with hemp as well. And that's part of the game, right? At the end of the day, but it's not going to be stopped. I mean, medicinal marijuana is an example. Not to say this is equivalent, but it's 27 states or somewhere in there, and Georgia's setting up for that as well. And Georgia just went medical, where I am here. They're already setting it up here in Georgia to grow hemp as well. So it's not going anywhere. Florida just did it. So it's not going anywhere. Louisiana.
Okay. So being a disruptor, as you said,
right.
Where do you see lit culture going in the future?
Well, where I'd like to see it is with the COVID-19 has changed a lot of things for all of us, right? In different ways.
Of course.
One is letting people know that we're still here. We've never closed, thankfully, during the pandemic or anything like that. We've been here for our partners, keep their doors open, to keep revenue coming in and the such. But where we would like to see lit culture go is into doing a lot more festivals, things where, when there was social activity, festivals. I've sponsored quite a few concerts here locally in Atlanta. But more things with influencers, getting into some of the production side with, because the name is so great. It could be licensed deals. I've had people approach me for licensed deals, but nothing has come to fruition at this time. So I see it going several places. I'm putting the right people in the right places, literally as we speak. I just got up an interview this morning. So I'm putting the right people in the right places for some really great potential things as, this brand is definitely being rebranded and reintroduced.
Do you see different product categories within the lit brand, or are you going to stick with basically the segment that you're in right now?
Ultimately, there will be other categories, no question about it. I could see clothing. Is the big
well, you're
one.
wearing a lit shirt, so obviously I know you guys have some lit gear.
Right. Well, we have some gear. We kind of did some things and some custom art pieces when we first started it. So, but it could be bigger. We've had, people ask us for backpacks, hoodies. We're actually going to have some face masks at the end of September that are Lit Culture branded. We're right on the face, the badge. They're black and they'll have the Lit Culture badge.
I'll be wearing one of those, right?
So when you're out in the public, they're really cool. They're really awesome. So they'll be in every order by the end of September once we get those in. So we could see definitely a lot more going down towards the gear aspect as well. And just other product sets. We're always being approached with other product sets as well that we're looking at to either a partner or manufacture ourselves or license.
When you are approached by another product or a vendor that wants to, what kind of a product aligns with you? Because you're not just going to take anything.
No, definitely not anything. A track record, proven success, track record, passion, vision, something unique. Because a lot of the product sets, let's face it, they're Me Too products. We all sell, I get it, but usually, I try to think of myself as a trailblazer. So I like unique, just something unique. And actually, it's a lot more work to do that because then you have to go through the educational phase and all these different phases and make something catch on and market it properly. But it's just something I enjoy. I enjoy being the trailblazer in any particular category and just thinking outside the box. That's just really a passion of mine. Call me crazy. But that's
well, you guys have I was going to say you guys, but you as the founder and the CEO have done a lot with this brand in a fairly short amount of time, haven't you?
We actually have.
And what's been the catalyst for success?
I would say because I've had a track record in the industry as a whole over the 10, 11 years of being in the counterculture / industry, smoke shop, head shops, and tobacco space. I've earned, I guess you could say, the trust of my customers and my partners with having hits that made them money. At the end of the day, that's that's one of the reasons we're all doing is to make a living. So I've been known over the years not to brag on myself, or I really don't even like doing these interviews so much, but I'm kind of trying to get out of my own way. But I've done well with a lot of brands for a lot of other brands, even before Lit Culture, that people would know the names if I mentioned them. And so I've earned my stripes, if you will. So people trust me. At the end of the day, people trust me. And usually you could take it to the bank, whatever I say as it relates to this, trust me, this will be a hit, and just put it on your shelf and go from there.
What does Lit Culture do? Let's say a smoke shop hasn't interacted with lit Culture. What are you gonna do for my store? How do you interact with me? Do you send me tons of marketing stuff? And what we talked about, the colorful packaging. What does Lit Culture do for a smoke shop?
Well, one, we listen to you. That's number one. It's very, we're small business guys at the end of the day, and gals. We listen to what's important to you, what kind of headaches you have, what's not selling for you. And that's the thing that, that's really important to me, is not selling an owner of a shop a product just because, but listening to them. What are some of the headaches? What is not moving for them? But finding out a day in the life of what is, not just to sell them a product because I have it, but is it right for them? Right? Mm-hmm. Because I had to find that out over time. Every shop owner is not necessarily right for the product set. And I'll let them know, right? If it's not, I don't, because I have a list of qualifying questions, because I want to make sure that anybody that gets a product set from me, I don't care if it's Kratom or Lit Culture or whatever it is, that they're going to make money with it. So, but, one, we support them with social media blasts to let our customer or consumers know where they can find the product, with quick shipping as well. That's another big one. I get so much, because typically we ship orders the same day, as long as it's before 2 p.m. We don't wait a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I hear all the nightmare stories. So we're really, really fast on that. Excellent customer service. And I tell all my partners out there, I work for you guys. At the end of the day, without you guys, I don't have anything. If you guys don't make money, I don't make money. So if you call me at 9 o'clock at night, people that have been with me for years, they may call me at 9 p.m. So I'm on the phone literally a lot of times till 9, 10 o'clock at night. My wife may not like that, by the way, because it's been years.
Sleeping in the guest room.
Exactly.
I get it.
But time zones and international sometimes as well. So, but I work for you guys at the end of the day, but making sure that I pick the right partners to do business with, and it's right for them as well, not just to make money.
Mm-hmm. What kind of marketing material do you have for stores besides social media? I mean, you got a cool brand, a cool logo.
Yes, door stickers, small stickers, large stickers, ceiling hangers, T-shirts, hats, face masks we got coming as well.
So some stuff they could either sell or give it away as a promotion.
Exactly, product cards. We even may do an incentive for a store specifically, or everyone, just depending on the scenario of what will be important to that owner or their location or locations. But making sure that we're listening to them and how we can make money with them. But we will personalize our approach for a specific customer, kind of like I talked about the CBD, how that happened with that specific customer.
We were just talking about COVID. You brought that up, COVID, and how that's affected you. What advice do you have for shops that either are not open yet or are planning to open?
One, open. Again, I'm in a state that's pretty relaxed, I guess, compared to some other states. So when I went to Denver a few weeks ago, that was definitely an eye opener for me comparatively, for me being here in Georgia, which I know everyone thought we were crazy here based on our governor at the time. But I would say open, just use the safety measures, follow the CDC guidelines. But we've noticed an uptick in our online sales because shops that were not or are not open, because the consumers are wanting their products. So it's really grown our online sales tremendously since a lot of this started, which was a blessing, of course. But at the same time, making sure that anything that we can do to help offset with them not being open, or some shops actually going to online as well.
I was just going to say, quite a few stores have added that online presence for their customers.
Delivery as well. Some shop owners I deal with doing delivery to their customers, which is unique physically within their towns as well. And then some shop owners, amazingly, one in particular comes to mind, where they became an essential business because CBD is considered medicine.
Right.
They got the town fathers, so to speak, to for CBD to be considered, a necessary medicine, if you will. So kind of go figure.
Yeah.
But definitely, I would say open.
Open as soon as you can.
Obviously, based on your locale, correct.
Right. Okay. Anything else you want to leave the smoke shops, dispensaries, whoever happens to be tuning in? I mean, honestly, go to their go to the Lit Culture website. Here's the litculture.com. It's as easy as that, right?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And then just to say, because I came up in the smoke shop industry, I really appreciate you guys for over the years supporting me and taking all my calls. And now I know you get 40 calls a day for Kratom, by the way. And it gets probably on your nerves, but I remember those days, and I really just appreciate you guys supporting me all these years. And thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. Okay.
Well, I appreciate you being on the show today. I know you weren't feeling too good last week. We had to postpone the show, but I'm glad you look good now. So
thank you.
So thank you for being on here. And when the cigars come out, we'll have you back on.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
Okay. Thanks a lot, everybody. And as we say, stay well, stay safe, stay tuned. We'll be back with another show soon.